Okay, so let's try these problems here. So we have a rectangular garden and we have a pathway that cuts through an angle, so we get a parallelogram. So what is the area of this path? Okay, we know that, well, we know this area here represents the garden, and we want to know just this width here. So how do I get this parallelogram area? Well, if I can figure out the width and the perpendicular height, I can get the area. I can get the number of squares, and we are given both those dimensions: 1 meter here, 4 meters here. So if I kind of rearrange this shape, so let me just get rid of this part for so a little bit easier to see. If I can just take that piece there and slide it over, there it is. There's my rectangle, and that rectangle, yeah, it's got a 1 meter width and a 4 meter height. So the area of that pathway is 4 meters squared. If I want to figure out the area of the garden without the pathway, this garden area, okay, which I'm going to shade in green, well, it's just going to be the whole area. So I can do 4 meters times 10 meters. That's 40 meters squared. And I can take away the path of 4 meters squared. I'm going to end up with 36 meters squared. So CDs. Some of you guys have probably never had too much dealings with CDs, but CD looks like this. So I have a circular disc and a hole in the middle. And I'm just going to make that hole a little bit bigger. Okay, the width across is 1.5 centimeters here, and the width across here is 12 centimeters. And we want to know what the area of the CD including the hole. So if we want the area including the hole, we need to calculate the area of this big circle. Well, we could make a diameter square, but really we probably want to make our radius square. That means we need to know the radius. So the radius of the big circle is 6. So radius equals 6 centimeters. So the area of that big circle is going to be pi times 6 centimeters all squared. That gives us an area of 36 pi centimeters squared. I think that's about 112 or something like that. But I would actually prefer you leaving your answers with the pi in it. So what about the area without the hole? Well, if I want the area without the hole, okay, this surface here that I'm shading in blue, if I want that area without the hole, I need to take the area with the hole minus, so that's the hole, and the area with the hole. The one's the W, hole and hole. Maybe that's not a good way to put it, but we basically need to take away that little area in there. Okay, so I'm going to take my whole area, which is 36 pi, and I'm going to subtract the area inside, okay, this area inside there, which is going to be pi times the radius squared. I need to make a radius squared here. That radius squared is not going to be 1.5 squared, but it's going to be half of 1.5 squared. Okay, so this is going to be, I don't have a calculator on me, so I'm just going to do this by hand, use fractions. So I'm going to get 36 pi, okay, 36 pi minus pi times 3 over 4 squared. Okay, so that's going to give me a denominator of 16, so I get 36 pi. I'll make that a denominator of 16. Oh, what's that going to be? Oh, that's not an easy calculation, is it? Well, I'll do this part first. I'm going to get 9 pi over 16, and 16 times 36 is 360. I'm just going to do it over here, 360. 5 times 36 is going to be 180 plus the extra 1 for 36. I'm going to get 576. So 576 pi over 16 minus 9 over 16. That gives me 567 over 16 pi units squared. Okay, and you can work out the decimal for that if you like. Okay, moving on to the last ones here. These are composite figures. These ones I kind of want you to do on your own. So pause the video first, okay, and then come do these on your own and come back to them and check the answers. Okay, so the answers are going to be looking like this. So I'm going to use my shaded area is going to be my 100 centimeters squared on the outside, so 10 by 10 square. The circle area is going to be pi times the radius. So the radius in this case is 5 squared. I'm going to draw my radius square in here like that, right? There's my radius square. So I'm going to get 100 minus 25 pi, and I'm going to leave my answer like that. 100 minus 25 pi units squared. Okay, I think that's approximately, if I'm not mistaken, about 21 point something. This composite figure here, we can just break it up into nice convenient parts. I'm just going to do it like this. There's lots of ways you can do it, but I'm going to break it up like this. So I have, in this case here, this is going to be 15 high. This is 5 wide here. So 5 high, so this is 25, 5 by 5. This is going to be 45 times 15 high, so that's going to be 450 plus half of that, so 675. This little triangle here is 15 high, but I got to figure out how wide this is. So from here to here is 50, 5 plus 45, so this must be 10. Okay, it's got a width of 10 in here. And so this rectangle will be 15 by 10, which is 150, so this piece is going to be half of that. So my total area when I count it all up is going to be 775 centimeters squared. The last two here, this is a parallelogram. Well, to get the area of the parallelogram, remember I have to have 90-degree lengths, so 20 times 18. So if I do 20 times 25, that's not a 90-degree angle. That doesn't give me squares, so I can't use that. So I'm going to do 18 times 20 to give me the whole parallelogram, and then I only want half of it. Okay, so I get 180 centimeters squared. Okay, so I only want the half area that's shaded. So this one here, we can do it all kind of in bits and pieces. However, if you kind of break this up into fraction pieces, can you see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts that make the shaded and 8 parts that make the whole? I can find out that area by just using, well, 6 parts shaded, 8 parts whole, times the area of the whole rectangle. Okay, so that's going to be 3/4 of the area of the rectangle. The area of the rectangle is going to be 15 times 30. Okay, so 3/4 of that length, of that area. Okay, 15 times 30 is 450. 3/4 of 450, it's going to give me a decimal value. Actually, I'm just going to maybe leave this in fractions here because I have some common factors here. So I'm going to cancel out a common factor of, well, it's going to be 90 times 30, so 2700 in the numerator over 8, and that would simplify to 1350 over 4. Oh, I can simplify that further, right? That's going to be 675 over 2 units squared. Okay, or 337.5 centimeters squared.